Armies of rats are feasting on garbage piling up near homeless encampments here in LA. It was more than a year ago that the NBC4 I-Team first exposed LA's trash and rat problem and how it fueled an epidemic of the disease typhus. Our investigative reporter Joel Grover now finds the problem is as bad as ever, making the City of Angels the city of trash.
In the shadow of the world-famous Hollywood sign sits the newest LA landmark. Piles of uncollected trash. They're everywhere. On the freeways, on the off-ramps, from downtown to the valley. Trash with rats munching on the waste. Much of it, the byproduct of 36,000 people living on LA's streets.
It's bad when I'm walking.
Trevor Guyton walks by mounds of uncollected trash every day at this encampment under the 101 freeway on Gower, blocks from his apartment.
It's hard for me, but it's worse for them, because they're living in trash.
He's talking about people like Jennifer, who lives at the Gower encampment. Do you see a lot of rats around the trash?
Oh, yeah.
What's your concern?
Being nasty and all the rats sitting there eating on you while you're asleep.
Well, we just saw a rat.
Dr. Jeffrey Klausner is an infectious disease expert at UCLA's School of Public Health.
Anyone who's living in a rat-infested environment is at risk for things like hepatitis A, dysentery, E. coli, typhus.
It was back in 2018 that the I-Team first exposed trash piling up for weeks on LA streets near homeless encampments. Health experts said those conditions were fueling an epidemic of typhus that infected people from Skid Row to City Hall. It's a disease that's spread by rats and fleas crawling in garbage. This is a breeding ground for typhus.
That is unacceptable to me, and as mayor, I'm going to make sure that that is changed.
After our story, the mayor announced he was spending millions of additional dollars.
We have to be ready to reorient our approach.
To hire extra workers to clean up trash around encampments and Skid Row.
Putting a few extra boots on the ground makes for a great press event. It doesn't solve the problem. This city is filthy. Los Angeles is filthy.
The trash problem appears to be getting worse in some areas, like in parts of downtown. In LA's fashion district, data shows these workers hired by businesses there now pick up 14 tons of trash a day, double the amount compared to 2017. And there's still plenty left on the streets. How do these conditions compare to what you've seen in the developing world?
In the worst parts of the developing world, these conditions are very similar.
Trashy conditions that worry people like Nagin Farmand of the Saban Community Clinic, which provides medical care to people on the streets. What's the public health concern for your patients?
Typhus, as we know, is spread through heaps of trash laying around.
Through a public records request, the I-Team found the number of typhus cases in LA County remains high. 93 cases last year. That's slightly down from the epidemic numbers of the year before, but still way above the average number of cases from the previous 8 years. Do you worry about another epidemic if there's heaps of trash out here?
Of course, of course.
Some of those who live on the streets are trying to keep their living spaces clean, but the city's last cleanup here was a month ago, and the next cleanup isn't scheduled for another week. Trash just keeps piling up.
It just sits here.
How long?
Weeks.
So right here, right now, the city should have a dumpster.
While trash heaps sit uncollected, rats are fanning out across LA, from the tents of encampments to city parks and onto sidewalks. A rodent problem that health experts fear could be spiraling out of control. We asked the mayor's office if they plan to take any additional steps to pick up the tons of trash that still sit uncollected for weeks at a time. His spokesman didn't answer our question specifically. He did say any increased spending for trash pickup would be part of the next mayor's budget, which we'll hear about in April. The I-Team will be watching to see what, if anything more, the city does to control LA's trash problem.